NHL Today.
Hey, it's Michael here with Oilerslive. We are celebrating an Oilers win. Woo! Yes, sir. Yes, everyone. This is a great day to be an Oilers fan. I don't know when the Battle of Alberta starts because I don't. Can we call that a Battle of Alberta? Wow. Maybe the Slaughter of Alberta, the Stampede Slaughter. That's what we're going to be nicknaming this series. As the Oilers close out the Flames 4-1. 4-1. 25 goals in the series. And all by one guy.
One guy.
All by one guy. One guy. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. So happy to be here. Happy to have Mike here and happy to have Kirk here. It is late here in Nova Scotia. It's almost 2:30, so it's not going to be a long show tonight, but we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about all the fun things. Kirk, I'm just excited to have you on. I mean, you're not on often enough. And Mike, I'm excited to have you on, of course, as always. And before you go anywhere, make sure you go to didtheflameslose.com. You can get your Battle of Alberta champion shirts there, your one guy T-shirts. You can get some Hudson Bay Rules shirts, some heavy hockey shirts. It seemed like the fitting opportunity for us to. You can also at any point go to heavyhockeygear.com, which is where that all ends up. But it seemed like a great time to launch the gear site in honor of a brilliant. Okay, guys. Who's the series MVP? Because one guy beat the Flames, so they say. But it must be clear who that one guy is it? I mean, let's be honest. Kirk, who was your series MVP? I mean, that's a hard one, but if this were the Stanley Cup, you'd have to give somebody the Conn Smythe. This is the Battle of Alberta. This is what we got for an Alberta, hold up the Alberta Cup for a few days until round 3 starts. Who's your series MVP?
Geez, man, you could give it to 6 guys. Not one guy, but 6 guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought Draisaitl was it the 4th game in a row he's got 3 or more points, or 5th game or something like that now?
Five games in a row. And the part about that's the craziest is that's not the one guy they were talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Draisaitl, that's your MVP? Dirsa?
I got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you betcha. Even though Connor won it, but
hey,
like I said,
our man Eric Friesen in the heavy hockey chat earlier today said that Connor McDavid was going to score a goal, and he did. He scored the biggest one. The saddest part about it is he didn't get a multi-point game tonight. That's the saddest part about that.
He's on the decline. We should probably think about trading him. It's terrible.
I know.
What's this? A 2-point pedestrian game in Game 4 and only a overtime winner to clinch a series in Game 5. We can't have that.
Woo! Yeah, that was awesome. Well, who's your MVP there, Dirsa?
Yeah, no, it's McDavid's the MVP, but you know what? It's hard to go from there. I mean, Draisaitl had a phenomenal series basically on one leg. Evander Kane was a force, and I think Zach Hyman scored a goal in every game of the series. I mean, that's unreal. And I mean, Bouchard again with another goal. Our back end put in 2 tonight, in a series clinching game. I think that's a story in itself. There's a lot of guys that really are playing pretty well, and I think they've got another level they can get to yet. So I'm excited.
Better believe it. You better believe they got another level. Here's one thing, guys. I before the series started, when it was Dallas and Calgary going down to Game 7, I said it was either going to be the rivalry series or the redemption series. But to me, this was all about redemption for these Oilers. Like, this was, we've been kicked in the face by just about every analyst, and this is the best team since Woodcroft got behind the bench, one of. But there is nobody was taking these guys seriously. Nobody. I mean, there were Sirius XM. I think half of them took LA in the first round. Out of 16 folks, I think there was close to 8 took LA in the first round. And there was nobody that took Edmonton over Calgary. And we didn't even just beat them. We walloped them. We kicked their ass. 4 games to 1. I don't know. I mean, and a sweep.
They took it to us in one period.
Yeah.
Of the series. And then, that it started to turn. We didn't have enough in game 1 to get through it. But, I mean, after that, it wasn't really ever close.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I think every major, every sports outlet, everywhere you looked on Twitter had the Flames winning handily, like easily over the Oilers.
Wayne Gretzky had the Flames in his bracket.
Even him too. Like
even Wayne Gretzky, man,
just insane, man.
Yeah, and what did it all come down to, guys? What'd they say, Mike? We talked about this last show. Goaltending. What 5 goals against per game? Wait, you remember all the Oilers naysayers at the beginning of the season? This team can't score 5 goals every game in the playoffs. This team can't do that. I remember those guys.
Just give them Jacob Markstrom, and then they'll find a way, I guess.
How many times early on this season I was called out for toxic positivity because this team can't score 5. You know what? Fuck you, because honestly, we're here. We're going on to round 3. To me, this is a big win. This is where we need to be. Year after year, we need to be going to round 3. I'm not happy yet. I want them to go to the Cup final, but I'll tell you what. I mean, this season right now is not a loss.
No,
it's not a loss. Yeah.
No, like I said in the group chat there today, I said, if they shut the door here tonight, this season is a win in my books, anyways. Like what Woodcroft has done since he's come in, like what the guys say there on Sportsnet tonight, was it February 10th? They were in 10th place. They're in the Western Conference, and they beat the number 2 team. Like it's pretty insane what has transpired over the last few months. And it seems like he got everybody to buy in at the right time. So give credit where credit's due. Like Woodcroft came in, and both him and Mats have done an awesome job.
He shortened his bench too, I think, at the right time there. Man, I was pissed at Cassian for not finishing that check, which led to that goal. And then I don't think he saw the ice more than 1 or 2 shifts the rest of the game after that, and that was in the second period. So,
yeah, him and Archibald were pretty much silent there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but hey, this team, like tonight, was a depth game, though, right? I mean, we're not going
from Puliarvi.
Yeah, we're not going down. We're not going all the way down the lineup to to the 12th man or anything like that. But you know what? The top 2 lines were firing, right? Like they didn't have an answer to it. They didn't have an answer.
That little tweak of flopping Hyman and Kane, I think, paid dividends. Like Kane could kind of drive a line on his own. I wish he'd pass the puck and trust his line mates a little bit more than he did tonight. But putting Hyman out there with Connor and Leon, I think, really got those two kind of moving a little bit more. He's so tenacious and a dog on a bone for pucks. I think it helped.
I even thought the third line there with McLeod, Yamamoto, and Fogle, like they were pressuring Calgary there pretty damn hard, and they did a heck of a job there just to keep them hemmed in there at times. I noticed there too. It just, Yeah, shorten the bench down to 3 lines. Well, Calgary did the same thing there too, for the most part.
Fogel's a nuisance to play against. Like he's in there all the time.
Well, you know what? And hats off to Fogle, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy got healthy scratched.
Yeah.
He got healthy scratched, and you know what? He didn't sit there and moan and
Sulk.
complain about it and sulk about it. He got out there and did what he had to do to stay in the lineup. And he was noticeable in a good way for, everything. Brian on Facebook says, positive thoughts. Once in the playoffs, anything can happen. So true, and pretty much a 3-line game for both teams.
Yep.
Yeah, this was maybe the closest between both teams. I mean, it was the only one to go to OT. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the goal. And we know which one we're talking about. I said it, though, here, before we get into this, and, I'm going to hear it from Flames fans, but let's be honest, right? Like I said, I gave you the numbers when we started today. You let in 25 goals in 5 games, and you lose the series 4-1. That one goal doesn't mean shit, right? Okay, before we get into it. It means shit only for how this game ended up, and even then, they weren't out of it. That team, they needed some, I don't know what they need, but look, Gaudreau wasn't the 100-point player he was in the regular season, and I don't know how many times I argued with Flames fans about how he's not a playoff performer, but it's Johnny Golf now and Johnny No Hockey, as we were saying right? Like, the guy doesn't show up in the playoffs. If you can't tell me, they were trying to tell us that he was, this big difference maker in the Dallas series. I don't think he was, if you want my honest opinion. I think they squeaked by Dallas, right, in the 7th game. And that's a 100-point player there, right? Anyway, let's talk about the goal. The goal was disallowed. What'd you guys think? Either of you think it was a good goal?
Dirsa, have at her there, man.
Yeah, I think he definitely tried to get a piece of it with his skate. Distinct kicking motion, I don't know, but I think he kind of kicked it in. I'm just shocked that it actually went our way. Like a lot of times, it has to be like like you're kicking a soccer ball from midfield for them to actually call it that you tried to kick it in. So I'm pretty actually surprised that went our way. I think it was a 50-50 call. I'm glad it went our way, but I was actually dumbfounded that it did go our way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. I'll tell you that much. I mean, we haven't had a goal like that, or a non-goal, or a call goal like that I don't remember when we had something like that. Yeah, Kirk, what'd you think?
I was watching the second period there with my dad, and we both just said to each other, like, it's going to be called, or it's going to go Calgary's way. They're going to deem it a good goal. And I said to my dad, I think it's a 50-50 split, just a coin flip. And just that one angle, that aerial angle from above there where you could see Coleman trying to lift his foot up, like that's a dead bang giveaway. Like he was trying to kick it in. And my Twitter feed there's a lot of hockey players that were chiming in saying, yeah, he tried kicking it in. Like there was no way about it. Like, I don't know.
Here's my thought on it is, maybe he did, right? Maybe, but look, the puck was going in, right? Like it was, it was on its way in.
Yeah, he didn't need to touch it.
If they had called it a goal, I wouldn't have complained. I would have said, "Shit, it's too bad." But I
was expecting that to be the way it was.
Exactly. In fact, I put out a tweet before they announced no goal. I said, "Come on, guys, let's get the game going." Markstrom's good for 5, right? Right? Like let's let's do it.
Drop the puck,
drop the puck. Like I'm just tired of waiting, and so if I was a Flames fan, hell right, I'd be pissed off. But look, it is what it is. As I said, 25 goals against in the 5-game series.
It's almost like I preferred that rule in the 90s when anytime it like went off your skate, then they didn't count it, right? Now it's got to be this distinct kicking motion, and to me that's conjecture, and
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. There's goals counted this year. I think it was Scott Wheeler there on Twitter with the Athletic. There, he posted a goal there. I think it was from an Ottawa game, and it was a blatant kicking motion into the net, and they let it go. They called that a good goal. So it's like goaltender interference, man. Like just
yeah,
you gotta, it just makes you want to pull your hair out. Just like,
I mean, to me, the spirit of the rule, right? In that instance, the spirit of the rule is right. Like, is he trying to score illegally? And to me, by the spirit of the rule, I mean, the puck's going in. Yeah. I mean, I that's kind of my. So hey, but look, we needed a call. I didn't like that goaltender interference we had earlier in the playoffs, right? Like, we had a couple goals back, and that, I mean, shit happens, right?
For me, if you're leaving a series though up to one debatable call,
that's my whole point is
you haven't done what you needed to do.
25 goals in 5 games, right? Yeah. Guys, I gotta love this. The clip now about Johnny Hockey there on the last McDavid goal. Somebody says it looks like he's already skating off to go to the airport. He totally.
He's already boarding a plane.
Yeah. Oh man, like what do the you got to think like Markstrom. That's in his head. I mean, let's be like, are the Oilers that good that they made a Vezina candidate look like he got called up from the AHL?
There's always that one team that just has, just your plain old kryptonite. And I think Markstrom, when it comes to the Oilers, that's his kryptonite. You've seen it with Vancouver. He let in some doozies there, like when he played with them. And I like I said to my dad there earlier on in the series, I'm like, look out, it's going to be an absolute goal fest. Like, because they just have their number, and you don't know about Mike Smith either, right? What a crazy series, though, man. Like, that second period tonight, that was bananas. just back and forth.
You know what? Maybe the worst thing that Calgary did was light us up in the first period of game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and like I said during the group chat, never underestimate a group underdog. Like, I always root for the underdog, and look what happened.
Oh, we got Chuck on YouTube's got a good line here. He says, "Best red was the goal light."
Best player in red, yeah.
Yeah, it's
most active
indeed.
anyway.
It's the one. Yeah, it's the one that showed up the most.
Yes,
that's
sir.
For sure.
Like I said to you, I think it was Tuesday, Kachuk and Lindholm and Gaudreau. I mean, it's the whole series. They were really perimeter.
They were, and the Oilers adjusted, right? Like, they were getting in that Hyman block tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting in the way of pucks, right?
And really, the only thing they seemed to like be a little bit dangerous at was kind of going behind the net and around and trying for like a big bang play quick in front of the net. But a lot of times those got picked off, and we were going the other way. So I don't know. They didn't seem dangerous as a unit.
No.
Kachuk deferred, like, after game 1. He deferred all the time. Like, he never wanted to do anything. I love it.
Sorry, was Kachuk playing this series? Missed him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except
for game 1.
You know what I noticed, and I talked about this last post game, was the Oilers, because if you watch the Oilers in the last game, or you watch the Flames, during the season, Goudreau would go behind the net. Everybody would just let him play with it until somebody got open.
Yeah.
And it was usually Lindholm and sometimes Kachuk, but the two of them were good at getting open in that slot area. The Oilers were chasing him out from behind the net, and they were blocking the pass out into the slot area. And they did it every time. And the Flames never, what was their, typical goal from in season was taken away from them, and they couldn't adjust. They didn't adjust. Look, I would contend to you, even after tonight, they asked Sutter, who did the better team win the series? Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
The best player won the series.
Yeah.
Well, screw you, Sutter, because you know what? The whole team won. And I think McDavid got to Sutter too. I think he got in his head too. Well, and that statement right there sort of proves it to me.
Tonight was the first time in the series he tried to match a little bit. I think he doesn't really make adjustments until he's totally forced to, and I think he did do a good job of kind of making a couple little adjustments, but then Jay didn't go with status quo either. He flipped Hyman and Kane around a little bit, and I think that gave Calgary problems. So because it wasn't just top heavy, one big line coming and if you dodge that, you're okay. It was shift after shift of sustained pressure, and I could just kind of wore them down. We were worried about, Zadorov and Goodbranson and their size being a factor in the series. That was nullified by us, like, putting the pressure on them, making them go and retrieve pucks and hitting them and, making them turn it over and making them try to skate it. I mean, Zadorov bringing the puck up the ice, yes, please, because that gives us lots of time to retrieve the puck when he shoots it in.
Yeah, no, you seen in game 2 there when I think it was game 2 there when Smith played the puck there to Dry, and it just punted it right up to him, and Zadorov was just caught flat-footed and just breezed right by him, and Bob's your uncle, so. So
I just got this text from a Flames fan. I doubt he's listening, so I'm going to read it. Fucking bullshit. Twice now where the Flames get a goal called back that results in the series ending. Crap. I hope that ref has everyone shit on his car. And my response was, the series was already over in this case. That's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear.
Look at the goals called back in game 2. If you really want to, pick apart shit, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the other game, one of ours got taken away. One of theirs got taken away. To me, that's a wash. So crying about that is.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian's listening in on Facebook. Thanks, Ian. And he says, "How about that Hyman reverse hit?" But that was awesome. But let's talk about Hyman.
Yeah. Beast.
Man, absolute monster, right?
He's
getting better every single. Yeah, no doubt.
I was looking for.
I should just retweet that to see what it does now too.
Oh man,
I was looking for that tweet earlier. There, I was gonna quote tweet it and then say evergreen tweet. just to piss him off. But the guy just doesn't stop, man. He's just crazy. He just penalty kill, power play, it don't matter. He's just fighting for pucks, and even again there tonight, he was right on the doorstep there, and click clack boom, it was in from that pass. Just insane, man. If this is more to come, what's to come ahead, with what we're going to see here even further, whether it's going to be Colorado or St. Louis, I'm assuming it'll be Colorado. He'll be once again beneficial to the team.
Hey, we gotta hope that one goes 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
not
distance.
Not just 7, but I think these guys need a rest, right? I think, and if the Oilers get a rest, and I think McDavid looked, the last 2 games he looked tired, a little bit tired. Like McDavid tired. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy is still the best player out there. But I didn't. He said tonight at the end of the game, right? He said I played a bad game. I mean, I wish I played a McDavid bad game in my life, but but in fairness, that's not his best game, right? Like he wasn't as dominant last game and this game that he had been, the previous 5, and I think he needs a rest. I think he'll have a couple days, right? Because we've got a little bit of time before the next series will start. But I think he needs a rest, and he's going to come back, and he's, who you want to play? I want bring on the best, bring on the Avs. Nobody's got the Oilers beating the Avs either. I'll tell you that.
And you look back in the season series, it was very close. Like, mind you, they didn't have They didn't have Landeskog or Kadri there for the most part, but
they arguably have the best 2 guys not named Draisaitl and McDavid on their team, right? And McCarr and McKinnon. Yeah.
Yeah, that goal last night there, where he just dipsy-doodled turnstile Letty there, that was something else too, man. Yeah, they're definitely going to be a tough test, but
and Kemper hasn't shown that he's
lights out.
Yeah. Like this is this playoffs in itself is weird, right? Like this, everybody, the only goaltender that's really showing that they're gonna, win games is Vasilevsky, and he's not. He's doing it later on, right? He didn't do it in the first round, did it? You got text from a Flames fan friend that you want to read out to us? I've had a couple, by the way. I've had a couple. They I said it earlier this week. After game 1, my phone lit up. Flames fans all, 9-6 is going to be a short series. Like, how you feeling?
Right.
How you feeling? Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. It was going to be a short series. Game 2, after the comeback, and about midway through the game, my phone just went silent. Like nobody's texting me anymore. No Flames fans are texting me anymore. I got to do an outreach just to make sure they're still still alive. We should be buying them. We should be buying them jerseys. I mean, let's say it, guys. This is Canada's team, baby. Canada's team. Canada's team. That's right. That's right. I love it. I
think Flames fans can thank us. They don't have to listen to that horrible anthem singer anymore this year. So.
That and Rudy.
Oh man.
I thought that was going to be like the TSN turning point tonight, that Craig Simpson was on the shelf for us.
No, I didn't know. I actually, I got it.
Did you guys hear that comment from McLean there?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
yeah, they made the right call, but they hope that Calgary would win, because it's hard to take that away.
Yeah.
No, that was game management.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Speaking of which, there, Luchansky's chiming in. He's like, I'm not seeing the zebra shirt for sale.
So guys, we definitely if you're listening in, go to heavyhockeygear.com, or better yet, go to didtheflameslose.com. We've got our one guy t-shirts and our Battle of Alberta champions t-shirts. On the back of the champions shirt, I put the hashtag in5, because you know what? Like, that just gets me right in the feels right there, that in5. I mean, that's the best. And then at the back of the one guy, I've got all 20 on there. But man, I just like this was the redemption series too, right? And it's hard to call this the Battle of Alberta. This one, like, this was,
yeah.
This was not like This was not like the battle. I don't know. I don't know how old you are, Kirk, but I don't know if you watched the Battle of Alberta back in the heydays. I did. I'm
Oh yeah.
old as the wind. And I'll tell you, those were legit battles.
Yeah,
Right?
no, that
Like
insane.
Lucic. Let's talk about Lucic. He goes and he hits Mike Smith, and then he comes out and he's a real difference maker the next game with 0 hits.
Yeah.
He's only got one job. He's only got one job. You know what? I'm going to say this to all my Flames fan friends. We're not paying him enough. We're not. The Oilers aren't paying him enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved how Rudy was talking, like, he didn't have a hit in game 4, so he's gonna just be hitting everything in game 5. He had two hits, I think, in the first period, and I think that's how he ended the night. Like, he was not some wrecking ball out there, and really he wasn't all series. This wasn't what I expected out of the Battle of Alberta, to be honest. It turned into Oilers skill hockey, and Calgary couldn't catch us to be able to hit us. I think our D were phenomenal at, making a pass and sidestepping out of the way of anything. And I think Calgary woke up to that and didn't even bother trying anymore.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I mean, they got a little bit excited in game 1, and that was it.
They got a taste of it, but yeah, that was it.
I think Lotzi wants to join us.
He does. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah. We don't have much time because, guys, I've got to get some sleep. I got to dream about the next round.
You're not going to sleep. Come on.
Well, like this was exciting. We had and for those of you that are tuning in tonight, and there's quite a few of you because I think we're all plenty pumped up in oil country. I'll tell you that. But there's this. I wish you could all join us on the Heavy Hockey Group chat because there's always some good banter there.
Not that I wanted this series to go any longer than tonight, but I'm a little bit disappointed that there wasn't a weekend game in Edmonton for them to just go bananas. But hopefully that'll happen in the next round.
That's good. It feels good, right, to win it in the Saddle
great
Dome.
To get it over.
I mean,
just
even
better.
Just to win one in the Saddle Dome, like for one last time there. It's like anyway, so I was gonna say in that group chat, we got a really superstitious group. And I will tell you guys, those of you that are tuning in right now, the Heavy Hockey crew went to town for the Oilers this time. Like, we had guys, if they fell asleep with 10 minutes left in the second period and we won a game, they fell asleep for 10 minutes left in the second period every single game afterwards. I've been wearing this hat. This is the Cape Breton Oilers hat. I've been wearing it for every Oilers win. Like, we're sacrificing. Right? We're making the sacrifices. Oilers fans are making the sacrifices. You guys, you know what? I might be the one guy. I think that should be our new slogan in oil country. We are all the one guy.
The one guy.
All the one guy. Ian asked, thoughts on coaching since the change? I'll tell you this. Woodcroft just outcoached 2 veterans in this league. And he legitimately outcoached. Like, this was not just an Oilers win, but this was a coaching win. Something Dave Tippett could never get done in the playoffs.
Well, it all goes back to what Derek Ryan said there. I think it was 2 weeks before playoffs there, like when they asked him, like, and he just summed it up in one word: details. And there's some guys that talk the talk, and it looks like Woodcroft has walked the walk so far, and you can't deny that because everybody's bought in. Everybody's not, for the most part there's been a few hiccups along the way, but that's to be expected. But for the most part, man, like I said before, when he came in, just right timing, and they all bought in at the right time. And that addition of Kane that also helped as well. And then the additions there at the trade deadline there with Kulak, that didn't help. That didn't hurt him one bit either. Just more veteran presence there, and yeah, just everybody followed his lead pretty much. Just one after another, and look what happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So which brings me to something. What do you think? Who is our Pisani? Have we had a Pisani yet? I mean, because I thought, McDavid and Draisaitl have been outstanding. There's no doubt. Hyman's been outstanding. Kane's been outstanding. Right? These are guys, though, we expect to be outstanding. Right?
Nuge?
Yeah, Nuge, maybe.
Hyman with a goal in every game, I think that's a little, that takes you by surprise. That might be a little Pisani-esque. I mean, Kane's a natural goal scorer. I wouldn't call Hyman a natural goal scorer. He works hard and he's got a great shot, but for him to score in every game, that might be Pisani-esque.
Would it be fair to call Hyman Smitty-esque, because he's gotten a lot of garbage goals all year long? Just grinding it out there in the blue paint.
Yeah, it's just Pisani came out of nowhere really, and I don't think if this was an 82 game season, would you expect Zach Hyman to be an 82 goal scorer? I don't think so. So I think that's a little bit,
Kane would be a 90 goal scorer, wouldn't he? If it was isn't he on pace for a little over one a game?
Yeah. In this playoffs, I mean, he's been unreal too. But yeah, I don't know. It's great,
Ian on Facebook says Nurse has surprised him. I you know what? Nurse has surprised me too, because he's clearly injured. Like, he does not have the speed that he's had, but he's played smart hockey, and he's had to change his game. But let's talk about the defense, right? Let's talk about the defense, because look, defense. Oh man, oh glorious day. Brett Luchansky's tuning in on Facebook. Oh, glorious day.
Brett, go downstairs and click on the link and show us that basement again one more time.
It is a real win here, folks. It is a real win. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Let's talk about defense, because look, I mean, defense, Calgary had the edge, apparently. Goaltending, Calgary had the edge, apparently. Top line, Calgary had the edge, apparently. But the defense, Nurse and CC, right? CC, when's the last time you remember, yelling at him when he's out on the ice? I mean, who is this guy? I don't know.
He's Iceman from Top Gun.
I will be the first to admit there were times throughout the season where I swore at Holland a ton of times, but somehow he pulled a rabbit out of the hat, and that rabbit's CC, because he's playing better than I would have imagined. Keith, as we all know, Dash's love affair with Duncan Keith continues, but even Dash has said he likes what Keith's bringing to the team. Kulak's been, I don't know. I mean, a noticeably good third line deep air man, right? Noticeably good. Yeah.
Perfect with Barry. Like, he just he's steady.
Well, and here's the thing: is Barry's my least favorite D man on the team. And I don't remember, yelling at him for defensive zone mistakes.
No, he's flying under the radar. He's playing really well.
Yeah, he's playing well. I don't love him on the power play, but hey, as long as he's not a liability defensively. I'd love to see Bouchard on the power play. But at the same time, you know what? I'm going to be the last one to second guess Woodcroft's decisions right now, because he's flying high.
It was a big power play goal tonight too.
So, hey, guys, we're talking about February 10th is when Jay Woodcroft took the bench.
Hallelujah.
Since February 10th in the regular season, these are the teams by winning percentage, because Florida had 35 games. The Oilers played 38, and the Flames played 39. All three teams, Florida, Calgary, and Edmonton, were over 700 since Jay Woodcroft got behind the bench. Florida gone in 4, Calgary gone in 5. Were the top two, and then lo and behold, there's Edmonton at 724. The third best record in the league, beating out Boston, St. Louis, Minnesota, Carolina, Colorado, Toronto, New York. And if you take out, that bad stretch of games for us, which was incredibly bad, could have easily been the best team in the league this year. Like that's the difference that Woodcroft has brought. Just utilization, like everything for this team. It's been outstanding, and it's culminated tonight. Like honestly, a big FU to all the guys, like all those Eastern-based media guys. Like none of them took this team seriously. Right?
It's funny. I was getting chirped about, Jonathan Huberdeau being more worthy of a Hart Trophy than Connor McDavid. Who would have ever thought at the start of the playoffs that the Oilers would be standing and the Panthers would be done first?
Okay, I'm going to admit Lotzie in here, and then I'm going to I've got to figure out a new. Hold on there, Lotzie. Now you're screwing up the whole setup here, but that's all right. We will make it work.
He's got a good playoff beard going, though. I got to give him that.
We will make it work.
Kudos.
I'm gonna.
Boys.
Hey,
yeah, we're gonna get another round out of it.
Everybody gets to see me right now. We're going to. Well, there we go. I've got the right one. Hold on one second. Hold on.
While you're figuring that shit out, cheers, boys. Let's go.
Oh.
Cheers.
Didn't you call the Flames?
Did he say the Flames were gonna
I
win?
think he
No, I
did.
did not.
What?
The only thing I said was that the Flames had better scoring depth than we did, but it didn't.
How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it didn't work out this time.
There we go.
Our top end guys are just too much for the Flames to handle.
Look, you know what? I would have even told you I was way too much of a homer in our season preview or series preview. But it turns out I wasn't even homer enough. Who knew?
Homer.
Who knew? I wasn't even homer enough. Come on.
Yeah, I gave them too much credit.
I know. Yeah, we all did. We gave them. You know what? I'm just as bad as those Eastern media guys. I'm in the East. I'm in the East. That's my.
Yeah,
problem.
You better tone it down a little.
I better tone.
Was I the only one to say Oilers in 6 and still be wrong?
I said Oilers in 6 too.
Did you?
I did.
I said Oilers in 7, but
Yeah.
I said Oilers in 7, and I thought there was a moment. I'm going to admit to it. There was a moment after that first game, and after the third goal in the second game, where I thought it was nice. It was a nice season. It was a good. I caught, and then I don't know. Some guy Connor and some guy Leon decided that they hadn't had enough yet.
one guy.
One guy.
For me, when they made that first game, an actual hockey game out of that, and they had no business being in that, I kind of thought we had a series on our hands, but I didn't think we were gonna sweep them after that.
Oh man,
4 in a row.
It's
4 in a row.
What did I say at the start of this? Though Markstrom had let in 5 goals in 3 of the 4 games that we played against them. Right? Like we scored at least 4 in every one of these games. All 5 games. 4 or more.
I just want to call this out. I am really impressed with the playoff beard you're growing there, Lotzie. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
I mean, Kirk shaved this morning, but
It's
it's
going in pretty good, yeah.
good. We all know that's not a playoff beard for Kirk. That's just 5 p.m. shadow right there.
Exactly.
I've been growing mine for like the last couple of months. It'll come in eventually. I'm hoping one day I'll grow up. And when I do, I'm still going to be an Oilers fan. Because the Flames suck. They suck, and they went down in 5. And what a waste of a season. Look, Sutter could win the Jack Adams. He could have given Gaudreau the Hart. Yeah, I don't know. Markstrom could get the Vezina. What did Gaudreau say when he didn't get nominated for the Hart? It's all right. So that's not the cup, or that's not the trophy I want. Yeah, well, you got to actually show up if you want the other one.
Speaking of things that people from Calgary said, I think Sutter said something about it's not about having experience; it's about having a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got.
Hey, I had a pretty good experience. Was it pretty good for you, Daryl?
We got to win one game at a time, 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Nice try, Luch. He said playing the Avalanche was a waste of 8 days. How long did it take him to lose against us?
Oh, man.
About 8 days. Yeah. 8-9 days.
Oh, jeez. I mean, we're enjoying this. We're enjoying this. You know what I love? I like Woodcroft's post-game pressers. This guy's like a total breath of fresh air and everything. First off, I admire the guy because the first thing out of his mouth, he stops everybody's questions right away. Against the LA franchise, he congratulated everybody on a good series, and he said certain things. Tonight, he talked about the Flames assistant GM, right, that's battling. And then he congratulated the Flames on a good series and a good season. And that's the kind of guy he is, right? Like how could you not, like, he flies in the face of everything the Torts, the Tortorellas, the Sutters, right? Like he's a new era of coaching right now.
Did you see when we won the game? He was like the butler on Mr. Deeds, just showing up to the other bench.
Yeah. He was.
You underestimated my sneakiness. He's like right there. He's like, it was like fucking Bill Belichick. We're on to the Western Conference Finals. Let's get this over with. I'm going to
screw you guys. Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah. It was great.
You'd think Sutter of all people wouldn't be the guy to make that. Like, Sutter, come on, right? You didn't, the best player didn't win that series. Like, that was a team series, if ever I saw one, right? Like, yeah, led by Connor McDavid, but you got to have a leader, right?
I think he's quietly calling out his own guys, though. Like, he said later on, he said, when there was a big goal needed, they got it. We didn't.
Yeah.
So I think he was calling out Tkachuk and Gaudreau and Lindholm and all those guys. I really think that's what he was doing. I don't think it was like personal, like a shot at our team. I thought the
province was going to burn. When there was a Battle of Alberta, I thought there was going to burn, but it didn't even have time to get there.
No,
didn't even have time to get there. Lotzie, who's your series MVP?
Is that really a question?
Well, yeah, no, it's a question.
Obviously, it's McDavid. I mean, he was an absolute stud in this series. Although Draisaitl deserves a lot of votes too. He actually outscored Connor in the series.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I said it's a question. It's a legit question.
Yeah,
Hyman scored goals when they mattered, right? Kane, just didn't stop scoring. Hasn't stopped scoring.
Who would be your Pisani? Like, who would you name off for the Pisani award for the series?
Well, probably Evander, because he's the one scoring all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Pisani was doing all that 06 runs, just scoring goals. Like this run feels different than that 06 run, just because we haven't had that surprise player yet, right? Like, it's been the top guys leading the way. Like, our top 5 guys or our top 5 forwards have been our top 5 players.
That was a team of rentals too, right? Like 2000.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Like, there's no way we're coming into next season staring down at this guy wants to leave town. That's God. Where's
there won't be a mass exodus like there was in on Sticks.
Luchansky says, I'm so fired up, I may just go watch Slapshot right now.
I don't believe you.
Some stranger on YouTube. I love that. I always love that name. It says Woodcroft's just a classy guy, and then he says Leon is the series MVP. Bryce says, I love it. I'm just loving life right now. This is almost as good as winning the Stanley Cup, beating the Flames. I don't disagree with that. Like, you know what? I couldn't be more fired up. There's nothing like every year I've always said we could miss the playoffs, but as long as we beat the Flames, at least that's something. If we lose to the Flames and we miss the playoffs, well, shit. Somebody's done fucked up, right? You know? But we didn't do either of that this year. We did both. We made the playoffs. We beat the Flames in the playoffs. Life is good. Go watch Slapshot, all of you. Not right now. Wait till our stream's done. Yeah, that's what Luchansky's really saying is I'm tired of listening to you guys. I'm gonna go watch.
Is he actually listening?
He's on there. He keeps commenting. Unless if it's AI. Could be AI. Could be one of those Refy AI.
Bots. Yeah.
Jax on YouTube says Mike Smith, though, could be MVP. Let's talk about Smith. Like, I don't know that I'd give him MVP. I mean, but
I think his save percentage was below 900.
But I'll tell you, like, that's like a Grant Fuhr-esque type of, series for him. Like, what... For the longest time, all we ever asked for was that our goaltenders made a save when we needed them to, right? And Ryan, you weren't on earlier, but at the beginning of the season, I got in all sorts of shit from a whole bunch of people for being the toxic, positive guy.
So one of my final thoughts as I was walking into my building tonight was Mike Smith got us to the conference finals.
I know. I didn't. Who would have? Did you bet on that?
It is pretty. It is pretty ridiculous. Yeah, it is ridiculous thought compared to all the goalie controversies we had this season, like going back and forth. Like,
we're relying on a 40-year-old goaltender and another guy.
No, is he 40?
Like,
yeah, he's 40. Yeah.
I mean, we never heard it 20 times. Actually, they've stopped saying it, thankfully.
Yeah. Old man.
Yeah. Brett says referees may have no heart, but this is no AI, boys. Wait, you know what? Shout out to referees tonight, Luchansky. There's a shout out to referees. Going to the well, making the right call, kicked in. Definitely, you know what? I'm wrong. It was definitely kicked in.
That's what the rest said anyway. So yeah, of course it was kicked in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you see? You see the guys in the crowd with the Oilers jerseys? They're waving it off, and then out comes the finger from the Flames fans. I love it. Absolutely love it. You know that's going into a GIF. That's going to be a heavy hockey GIF right away. Lotsberg, what else you got for us? You got any articles coming up on how, like, what's the most, for all you guys, what is the most, besides beating the Flames in 5, what's been your favorite thing about this playoff run so far?
Eric Francis trading Gaudreau and Tkachuk this morning on Oilers Now.
Did he? Did he really? What did he?
I missed it.
Yeah, I read something about that.
Let us know. Come on, give it to us. What was the comments?
Oh, basically that one's going to be in Philadelphia, and
really,
the other one's gone too.
Like, I read on Sportsnet. He was saying that Gaudreau's likely played his last game as a Flame, and that Matthew Tkachuk is going to sign like a 1 or 2 year deal and then leave in free agency. that was Eric Francis's prediction.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, and I don't feel the least bit bad about the Flames fans right now. I mean, I'm enjoying this far too much, So this whole season with Gaudreau and Tkachuk and the Lindholm line, like, lighting it up in the regular season. And for those of us like myself who hate Calgary, saying, well, they're going to disappear come playoff time. And all these, Flames fans with their, oh, look at, Eric Francis has been trying to drive Gaudreau out of Calgary every season. And look at Gaudreau's, should be a Hart candidate, right? And now we're back here. We're back here again. I mean, the guy, honestly, I'm not even sorry. I hate the Flames.
He's putting his full court press back on the same shtick that he had to retire for a few months because they were doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, Francis is a knob, but oh man, I tell you, but he's probably right. I mean, would Johnny Gaudreau stick around? I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't want to show my face in Calgary, right? Being a guy that's 100-point guy, the guy that is supposed to lead the team, and then
what's your major story though with Calgary, and their struggle in this series? Is it their top line not being able to do much? Is it their goalie not being able to save a beach ball? I mean, what's the number one story?
That's a good question, Mike. You should host this show.
I do on occasion.
All right. Well, come on, Mike. Who are you asking? Give us an order here.
All
Jump
right.
ball?
Well, yeah, go ahead, Lotzie. Start with you.
Okay. I mean, I think you hit the big ones right there, but I think the story is going to be Jacob Markstrom and how the team that he could have signed with and almost signed with ended up lighting his ass up in 5 games.
Yeah, makes it kind of ironic that Mike Smith was a better decision.
The guy who had to wait for day 2 of free agency to sign that summer ends up getting the win in the series.
What do you got, Kirk?
Where was the heavy hockey from them? Like they big hulking team, big hulking defense, and crickets. Just I thought they were going to come up. Well, they did come out guns a-blazing in the first game, of course, but after that, it was just crickets. Like, and I gotta agree with Lotzie. Like that goaltending, man. Like that's number uno. Like for winning the championship, you got to have great to awesome goaltending.
I wonder if that's really it, that they got spooked because they came out guns blazing in game 1, and then we came back, and I wonder if that spooked them, like, because they were never really the same after that.
Yeah, but you got to look back at the Dallas series there too. Like they were on the ropes there too as well, and that if it wasn't for Ottinger, yeah, sure, but the Dallas just hung around. They were just hanging on the ropes and just hanging on for dear life, and they nearly caught them.
Maybe that series lulled them into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of hockey that the Flames needed to play to win. I said this on our preview show that the Flames needed to play low event hockey to win. And they did that for the first period or two tonight. But as soon as the Oilers opened it up and there was that flood of goals in the second period.
Fairway hockey, yeah.
Yeah, actually at that point, that's when I felt pretty confident the Oilers were walking away. Like even if they had counted that Calgary goal, if they had counted that, I still felt pretty confident the Oilers were coming back. I actually wasn't worried. Now, the big surprise to me still, and I've been talking about it all night, has to go to Woodcroft. And he's been, to me, like the way he's coaching this team, like the adjustments he's making with the team, the line changes, like some stuff that is like totally out of your mind. Like, he even Sutter tried 11-7 at one point. Like, I mean, Woodcroft
would have been like Golden State trying the box and 1 against the Raptors.
Yeah.
19.
Like he's going to new ground. Now everybody lost an ego on YouTube says Crosby's first 2 Stanley Cups were rookie coaches, and Berube on at St. Louis was rookie. Not sure if they were interim, but I said this earlier because there was a lot of people that's were saying coaching was not a challenge, and they said and you're going to change coaches mid-season. It's not going to get you anywhere. That's what everybody was saying, right? Like that's, we all heard it. And I pointed out, I went back, I can't remember now. We're going back to February, but I think it was something like 15 to 20 seasons. There were only 2 or 3 seasons where one of the coaches in the Stanley Cup final was not an interim or new coach for that season. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
That is a crazy fact.
Yeah, like it was, it just goes to show you, like the bump that you get from a new coach can last a long time. But in this case, the difference here is Woodcroft got a team. Like he didn't take over like a bunch of, delinquents or, shitty players. He took over the 2 best players in the league. And a damn good defenseman in Darnell Nurse, and some up and coming offensive defensemen in Bouchard, and some guys like Hyman and Kane, and he got he's turned it around, and we're going to the third round when we weren't even sure we were making the playoffs.
And everybody even in the local media was waiting for that dead cat bounce to happen, and
yeah.
And I personally thought, like right from the get-go, right from his first presser, like he just brought in positivity, just confidence, and it was infectious.
It came at a time when we needed that too.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 months were just so negative. Like it was minus $1 billion at Edmonton, COVID outbreak, canceled World Juniors, teams losing, there's injuries, blah, da, da, da. Like we just needed a change, and what a breath of fresh air Woodcroft was.
He was, right? Like there's so much about him that just has been outstanding, and that to me anyway, that's the biggest surprise for me. I just feel like we finally got somebody who's utilizing the team properly. You let Connor and you let Dry do what they need to do, right? In fact, I'd be yelling at Tippett if he put Draisaitl and Connor together. But the manner in which, Woodcroft does it just seems right, And here's the funny thing is, this 5-game series is probably the least amount of minutes Connor's played, right? All season, isn't it?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to hear that Nuge and Hyman were the top forwards last game through ice time.
I know.
That's awesome.
Well, Nuge must have been the one guy last game. All right, Mike, come on, host with the most. What else you got for us?
Yeah, it's almost like Jay's, moving pieces on the chessboard. Like,
there's a T-shirt for you.
Yeah, I almost think like he's thinking, a little bit ahead, and it's dangerous, I think, to do that in the middle of a playoff series. But if you're gonna go on a long run and you're gonna sustain that, saving Connor a little bit for what's to come ahead. Pretty smart coaching, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be in the moment. You got to get it done, and they did. But now you look back and there's some reserve there. You haven't maxed out Connor. I don't know where you're at with Leon, but you didn't max him out.
And there's going to be a few days to rest here.
Yeah,
that Avs series is still going. And Avs Blues, I should say, Blues are still alive.
Yeah, hopefully St. Louis can extend that to a 7th game, and who knows from there, and maybe some.
The rust factor becomes a factor too, right? If we rest too long.
Yeah, but I think right now rest is their, something they need. There's.
Oh yeah.
It's more than worrying about rust. There's injuries that need to get nursed a little bit, ironically speaking.
Yeah, there's bumps and bruises. Everybody's got them, and Leon and Darnell.
If you're going on to the Western Conference Finals and Stanley Cup, and there's a little bit of rust in a game, I think you'll take that over, guys being with nagging injuries, being really, really hurt. A little bit more rest is probably, more beneficial.
You know what I'll tell you guys? Like, one of the things, I'm beating this Woodcroft thing to pulp tonight, but as a team, these guys are going through the playoffs, and they've got Woodcroft there, and you think about the players from the players' perspective. This has got to be fun for them, right? Like the playoffs. If you're playing, let's talk about Sutter. If you're playing for Sutter, it's not fun. It's just getting out there and doing what Sutter wants you to do, right? Like you're not leaving this. Like Sutter doesn't come out and say, "Hey, we just won the series. We're going to enjoy it for a bit," right? He comes out and says, "We got work to do." Woodcroft actually says, "We're gonna enjoy this. Like, let's soak it in." Did
you see any video today of the guys at morning skate?
No, I didn't. They were probably smiling, having a good time.
Yeah, they were really, really loose. Yeah. I mean, I was nervous as hell about today, and they were loosey goosey at morning skate, almost to the point where I'm like, oh man, maybe they're taking this a little too lightly.
You're the only one, because I had didtheflameslose.com waiting and ready.
I know, and I thought you might have been, messing with the gods a little bit there with that. So
yeah, I said no words about the t-shirts. I'll say all of the words about the t-shirts now.
I looked at the website with one eye open and one eye closed because I was afraid that I'd mess up the.
I even had it set in there. It said, "Did the Flames lose?" Hell yeah, in 5.
Yes,
that was done before the game was even done. Who do you think called the league and said that's kicking motion?
I love that guy or gal, whoever they are.
Yeah. Hey, Toronto, you should look at this.
Anything, no matter what gender they are.
You think that? What do you guys think of this Canada's team shit? Because I like drives me nuts. No. You think Canada's going to get behind this team? I don't think so.
There's always mixed opinions, no matter who you talk to. I think the vast majority of people do. I think the vast majority will get behind Canada's team if we're the only team left. So, yay, we get a bunch more Oilers fans. But there's always a few strong, passionate ones that will not cheer for another Canadian team or a rival team.
Hey, little shout out to a guy on Facebook that's tuned in for this first time tonight. Ian Matthews is tuned in on Facebook. He's from Indiana, and he's talking about the Oilers. A little over about a half hour ago, when I said I was going to bed as well, because it's 3:30 a.m. here now in Halifax. But he just commented. He said, "It should have left and went to bed, but I'm still high on this win. Sorry, I'm all over the place with questions." Here's a good question. You think face-offs will be an issue moving forward?
It was horrible tonight. Holy man, we had a hard
first
time.
Period, yeah.
And we still won the game.
Yeah.
I think I said this in the Flames or in the preview too. Face-offs is an overrated stat.
Maybe,
it's
but
nice to have possession. Yes,
Calgary didn't really have any good face-off plays drawn up. They were winning everything and never really got to take advantage of it.
No, they didn't. I mean, yeah, they were up 2-0 after that.
You go back to that series against Chicago, though. Losing face-offs killed us because they had lots of face-off plays.
I mean, I think what killed us in those situations was not tying up sticks, because Chicago got all those tipping goals.
Yep. But I mean, they had plays like, they would pull it back and the defenseman would shoot it and they were trying to tip it and whatever. Calgary didn't seem like they wanted to do that. They would stop it, pass it around, and give us time to reset. And
defer.
That's true. They weren't quick strike off things on. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I mean, this. I don't know if face-offs are going to be a problem. We're going to find out. Oscar on YouTube says, "First time watching. I live in Edmonton. Not used to this. Not used to this feeling. We aren't. We're acting like assholes because we're so happy we won 2 rounds." And
I was at Rogers tonight for the watch party. Man, what a scene outside after the game, in the concourse, outside the media room. I've been going down to Rogers, whether it be the plaza or inside. I've been in the area for most of the games, and it is just wild. It's just amazing.
I had people over here in Halifax got together, some Oilers fans. There's a lot of energy in oil country right now, right? Coast to coast.
Oh, yeah.
I might have yelled loud enough out my window when McDavid scored that they could hear me in Calgary too.
I heard you. I heard you out here. I woke up the neighborhood.
I walk to I live just on the other side of the river from Rogers, so I'm like a 40-minute walk, and just downtown is alive, horns honking, people cheering, high fiving. Like it's amazing to see the city with so much energy and passion right now. Like it's just so much fun.
Oh, you know what is also great is the Calgary City Council. It's gonna be wearing some Oilers jerseys and dressed up, and oh man, like you know what? I don't know. Do we now own shares in the Calgary Flames? Like, because the Oilers owned the Flames this series. It started out not so good. But
owner of the Calgary Flames, one guy.
That's right, one guy. Man, there's a shirt. Who owns the Calgary Flames? Owns. One guy.
I'm interested to see what happens at the Flames this offseason, though. Not just Gaudreau, but they've only got 10 skaters committed for next season. 10 skaters.
This was their all-in. Who was saying that on one of the shows? Was that you?
I think I was talking about that. I think I brought this fact up that they've got 10 skaters committed for next season. Then they got their 2 goalies set.
They spent a lot of currency too on getting those additions there from Seattle, and
like Toffoli, Yarncroke at the deadline. Like, how many of those guys are going to come back? Right?
It's gonna take somebody that knows more about computers to edit Calgary Flames Wikipedia site, because this page is protected to prevent vandalism. View source.
It is locked. It is locked right down.
What about Markstrom's page?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Man. Yeah, you know, they've got Kachuk's an RFA, Gaudreau's a UFA, Mangiapane's an RFA.
Yep.
Cal Yarncroc. I mean, that's the guy. It took 17 goals to score, 17 games to score, and anyway, he's not coming back. Ryan Carpenter, Brett Ritchie was a healthy scratch. This was a team built for the playoffs, by the way. I don't know if you guys heard that. Like
allegedly.
They were
Who else? What do they got?
Is Brad Treliving's job safe?
Oh,
yeah, that's question. Another good one. Yeah,
Zadorov and Goodbranson, like that was supposed to be, you know, their saving grace.
That was supposed to be a second pairing for them.
The towers of power, right?
Yeah. And I read on my feed there on Twitter there that Tanev had a torn labrum, separated shoulder, and something else. It was freaking crazy, but
Zach Hyman's play, the first power play goal he scored last game. He was in that battle with Tanev, and then he was holding his shoulder after that.
But I mean, okay, you got spill the beans there. We can't read it. You're gonna have to read it for us. Can't even see it.
I can't see it.
It's just white.
Yeah. So Jacob Anders Markstrom, born 31st January 1990, is a Swedish professional ice hockey goaltender in place for the Calgary Flames of the National Hockey League, but is owned by one guy, TM.
Right on. Right on.
Oh, I'll send you guys that picture.
I love it. Well, guys, it is 3:35 here in Halifax. You're probably right. I'm not going to be getting any sleep for a little while. I have lost my voice, and I was watching the game on my own. That's how much yelling I was doing. Absolutely love it. Man, I tell you. Okay, some last words, guys. I think we're going to give Lotzi, have you ever had the last word yet on one of my shows?
I think I have a couple times, yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll give you the last word tonight, or Dirsa. I haven't given you the last word in a long time, so we'll do that. But we'll go around the horn. But before we start that, I'll just say thanks everybody for tuning in. We actually had good showing tonight, which is not a surprise. I mean, everybody is pumped right up, right? Flames suck. We know that. What a hell of a feeling. Battle of Alberta turned out to be the Stampede Slaughter. And anyway, go to didtheflameslose.com. Help us support the Heavy Hockey Network and these guys writing and us doing some streaming and all of that stuff. And if hopefully we can come up. All those shirt ideas were coming up on the fly just so we could get something out for this wondrous occasion, which is a little bit like the Alberta Stanley Cup. We'll call it that. But you know what? It's been a fun series, and we're gonna get back to work and do this all over again, whether it's Colorado or St. Louis. Pardon me, I'm getting all choked up here. All right, Lotzie, you're up next, and we'll go to Kirk, and then Mike, you're gonna take us home tonight. Putting myself on mute.
All right. Yeah, anybody but Calgary. Like, what a great feeling to win the Battle of Alberta. You're always nervous heading into that kind of series against the rival because you don't want to be on the losing end of that. But boy, does it feel good to be on the winning side of that. But just on a more broad scale, like, I remember like thinking back to the season preview where we're talking about where the Oilers are going to finish, how the season we're going to go. I remember my prediction. I said Oilers finish second in the division, but the Oilers will emerge as a Stanley Cup contender by the time next September rolls around. Here we are. We are top 4 in the league. We're in the conference finals. We have arrived as contenders, legitimate contenders for the Stanley Cup. And we're watching Connor McDavid's ascension towards greatness in real time, which has been an absolute treat to watch. So that's all I got.
Kirk,
yeah, I've been waiting for this for 16 years through the decade of darkness. It's exciting to see Oil Country just jacked right now, just pumped right up. And I can't, like I said before, if we go to the conference finals, the season's a win. But now the real bonus is seeing what Lotzie said, what Connor and the boys are going to do. And I hope they ride it out all the way, man. Like whoever they meet up with, they definitely have that juice. They have that juice just to, keep going on. And I'm really excited. I'm super stoked what's going to happen here. So go Oilers.
So if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the Heavy Hockey Network. We're trying to bump those rookie numbers up to McDavid level numbers. 8 wins away from the Stanley Cup. We're in that anything can happen and job's not finished kind of realm now. The season is a success in my mind where we're at right now, but want a little more. It's been a long time. So get some rest, heal up, be a little bit gracious to your Flames friends because, it hurts to lose. Time to chirp them, I think, is, in the summer and the off season, there's a bigger prize on the way. 8 more. Let's go.